Hi, we're going to do an investigative look at these earthquakes on the Georgia-South Carolina border, about 20 miles north of Augusta, Georgia. And Augusta, Georgia is where Augusta National is, and that's where they have the Masters Golf Tournament. It says this is the second strongest earthquake since 1950. Well, it wasn't a 4.1, it was a 4.4. And it says it could be felt throughout South Carolina and Georgia. Social media. Because the news isn't going to give us the right thing. The media does not want us to know that Jesus Christ is about to come back, and to know what time that we are living in. This particular earthquake, or this swarm of earthquakes that's about to happen, was predicted, and I'll get into that later, on February 8th, predicting a line, and I'll prove that she is correct, that her prophecy is correct. And they said that this earthquake sounded like a train coming. The whole ground shook. Kind of felt like the whole house was swaying. This stuff was felt between Columbia, South Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. And this is not a normal earthquake. Look what this Dale Grant says. This was a big one, relatively speaking, and because it was shallow and covered a large area. Others says a typical 4 can be as much as 60 miles away. Another article says that it's 25 miles away due to the sandy surface. Ground surface, and it can be felt further. Well, that doesn't explain Atlanta, which is somewhat hilly elevation changes and of rocky construction. Certainly plenty of the Georgia red clay and things getting knocked over. And even in Augusta, Georgia, which we'll get into later, on that same Masters golf tournament golf course, they're some 20 miles away from the epicenter. They had a water tower, they say burst. It kind of cracked open at the seams, and we even have an eyewitness account from of the shaking going on from a restaurant, which is 1,000 feet from where the earthquake is. And so we have this somewhat major quake going on, and here's the first one, which was a 4.4, not a 4.1. And here's your distances and so forth, and there's your time of 10:23, and then we have a second one, which was at 3:23, which is kind of interesting. Just 3 seconds difference in being a round hour towards it. Here you can see Clarks Hill Lake, the epicenter here, about 20 to 22 miles from, there's North Augusta and then the 2 other towns. And here's the Savannah River in Georgia and South Carolina. And here in Clarks Hill Lake, or Lake Thurman Lake, they have the Thurman Dam, which they said didn't get any damages. Well, if there was a light earthquake, why would they check it to begin with? And apparently there's 2 dams here, and people are also forgetting down in this whole area. You have the Savannah River site, Plant Vogel, and all kind of nuclear things that this could have been affected by, and they're all within the 60-mile range. Okay, we're still on the second one. I paused it for a second. And then we have a third earthquake. It says the 15th, and there was our universal time mistake. And when you use, I'll get into that a little later, you use MapQuest, it does show a little red dot where the actual site is, and which is very close to the South Carolina location. But when then you get directions, guess what happens? It takes you all the way down to someplace west of Savannah, Georgia. So now to continue on, we go to the from the web page that showed the Georgia earthquake, and you click on the Google Maps, and it brings this up, and it shows the location of where the earthquake was. But when you switch to get driving directions, and I use the Olive Garden since it was 1,000 feet from that water tower that leaked. Here it brings up your driving directions to this is someplace in Alamo, Georgia, some 126 miles away, and that's probably where they've got their that it was a Georgia quake, even though the major towns and so forth were in Georgia. It's right on the boundary. And here I'll show you what I found in Alamo, Georgia. Okay, I decided to go back to this web page. Notice February 15th for the strong earthquake, and you can get this web page if you want to look at it yourself. And then it says 5.4, and you click on that right here, this map. That'll bring up, see how it says Georgia, US way, the 15th. Let me hit pause on that, and that's how you get it. It'll take you to Google Maps, and the destination in Alamo, Georgia. It's just a road, but I panned up on Google Maps from the ground level, and it's 3090 in Chick Inn Road. Is that Chick in the road, meaning the Bride of Christ in the road? And look at the picture of the sun. You can see, I don't know, it looks like chemtrails coming from it, or maybe even the rays of the sun, but it looks really weird. There's really not that much clouds around, but I thought, well, he pointed me to look at this, and sure enough, I found this, and quite, it's kind of pretty. Jesus is the Son of God, and the sun god worshippers, but even in the false religions, there's a shred of truth, and I thought that was quite interesting. Okay, so we're back at in Augusta, Georgia, and the interview that you'll see coming up about the lady from the Olive Garden is 1,000 feet. This is, I think I have it later. I can give you the link in the description box. This is the water tower on the Augusta National golf course, right off Washington Road, and this is the side street. You can see the green fence to keep people from watching the game, and you can plainly see how it burst. And Dabu, either 77 or 77, you can see he has a video on this, and they tried to disprove him with another water tower, either in Savannah or Statesboro, Georgia. And this is from the Twitter, and I'll be showing you the news feed here in just a minute. And here is from MapQuest, and here's the Olive Garden showing that it's 0.2 miles. Same green fence, and I always thought it was kind of a light brew, but this is a major, the only water tank on Augusta National, and even the pilots use it to see where the golf course is when they're flying over it going into Daniel Field. And let me see, I'll pull that up. Let me pause it for a second. Okay, we're back on MapQuest. I went from the Olive Garden. It's showing 25 miles to, that was the epicenter down there, and it's about 20 miles. And then the second earthquake, the 3.2, the other location, I got that mapped out. It only was a mile apart. And the fake earthquake is, here's Savannah, is down here somewhere. And here's that famous 33-degree parallel that the Illuminati and the occult and the Freemasons like. And there's Aiken, and there's Augusta. And so you can see it's kind of along these ley lines, this ley line. And even Roswell, New Mexico is even on that ley line. Okay, I found the clip. I'll go ahead and play that. clip from a previous attempt to make a video, and it's off of Washington Road, and you can get the Twitter clip there if you want to find it, and you notice that it's kind of burst, and they said it was from it freezing and different things. Well, Augusta, Georgia does get freezing temperatures, so it would have froze long before that. And I mean, look at the stuff coming out. It's right at the seams where it's bolted together, so if it's knocking plates around 60 miles away, it can certainly shift this 20, 22 miles away. So let's see to the next. I can there we go. Okay, before going to the next video, I've decided to show the next clip, which is the lady ByHisGrace Channel. She does this channel and predicted these earthquakes, and here's the map of the first earthquake, and I'm going to hit play here. So you might hear me talking twice. So let me hit play here. A lady. She does the ByHisGrace Channel, and this is February 15th, and she does this video where she predicts earthquakes, and a line drawn from Georgia all the way up, and here's the she's got a split screen, the epicenter there near Edgefield, South Carolina, which is just on the other side of the border, and that this is predicted. This is the beginning of judgments. In this video here on the left, she says it was due to the big churches in Georgia going the wrong way, and I believe it's for various other reasons in addition to that, but that's the personal aspects why I'm doing this video, because I'm from Augusta, Georgia, and these towns are very significant to me, and the beginning of judgment just happens to start there, and that's just for, well, my personal confirmations and everybody else's confirmations. But here's her video on the proving that she forecasted these, and I'll go ahead and play that.
Okay, so over here this is the video that I did on the Vision. The Vision earthquakes forming inland on the east coast of the USA of America, and here's the date of